Hi friends, welcome to MEC tutorial. In this video, we learn the introduction of a MEC. So, what is a MEC? M stands for a model, view stands for V stands for view, C stands for a controller. Okay, modeler, view, controller. Now, what is a MEC framework? The ASP.NET MEC is a open source framework built on the top of the Microsoft .NET framework to develop web application that enable a clean separation of code. What is the meaning of this first point? So first of all, MVC, okay, ASP.NET MVC is an open source framework. That means whenever we are using this MVC framework, we no need to pay money to the Microsoft company because this MVC framework developed by the Microsoft company. What we can do with the help of MEC framework? So we can develop web applications. So with the help of MEC framework, we can develop web applications. So that enables the clean separation of code. So what it is mean by clean separation of a code? So whenever we are writing the code, so we can separate a code for each logic and we can maintain easily. So this point we cannot understand right now. Whenever we are creating the application, that time we can understand the clean separation of code. Okay. Now coming to the second point, ASP.NET MEC framework is the most customizable. So what is the meaning of this customizable? For example, I am using the MEC framework. So I want to develop my web application. So it has to support in a mobile device, okay, and large devices, small devices like that. I want to support my application. So I can customize my application. So that is the meaning of the customize and extensible platform shipped by the Microsoft. So this platform is given by the Microsoft company. And coming to the third point, we can say that ASP.NET MEC is a web application development platform from Microsoft that is based on a MVC. So finally, what we can tell? What is the MEC framework? MEC framework is a web application development framework in a simple point. Okay, so with the help of this MEC framework, we can develop web application. That is the meaning of MEC framework. Now, what is MVC? So M stands for model, V stands for view, C stands for controller. So what is a model? This model is used to pass data from controller to view and vice versa. That means whenever I want to pass data from controller to view, that time I have to use the model. So don't worry about this model. So whenever you are creating the application, that time I explain you what is the model. Okay. Now just focus on now what is a model. Now coming to view. So view is used to display user interface to the client. So what is a user interface? For example, when I trying to log in Facebook, so that time I have one interface. I have to enter my credentials like email and password. That is the interface login page. First time I am trying to log in, so I have to register, right? So I have one more page that is called register page. That is also one user interface. Okay, that is a one more page. Now coming to the controller, what is a controller? Controller is used to communicate a via database, okay, view to database and database to view. So for example, when I'm trying to click on a submit button, okay, I entered all my credentials to the my Facebook login page. Okay, when I click on submit button, I have to pass this data to database. So but client he don't know what happening behind the scene, but we are the developer, right? We have to know. So whenever he click on the submit button, we have to take those credentials, okay, whatever user enter in a interface, that data we have to store in a database. How we can store? With the help of controller, it will communicate view to database and a database to view. It will work like a middleware. So that is the job of the controller. Now, what you learn from this MEC tutorial? So these are the concepts. Okay, these are the concept in a MEC. We learn MEC folder structure, MEC lifecycle, MEC routing, HTML helpers, attributes, and data annotations. Don't worry about all this. Whenever we are creating the application, that time I explain you all these points. Okay, that time you can understand very easily. Okay, now we have is other topics like action results, views, filters, and entity framework. So entity framework is a concept in a MEC. Okay, and then finally we learn the authentication and authorization in a MEC. Now, what is this user request via HTTP protocol? So when I'm trying to log in, okay, when I'm trying to the login my Facebook account. So if you observe here, first of all, he has to enter the http.facebook.com. Whenever he enter and click on the enter button. Now this request come to the controller and the controller to model. So it will fetch data from database. Okay, through model. After that, this controller pass data to view through controller, and then this view render and give the response through the client. Now client can able to access a user interface. Okay. Now at this point you don't understand. Don't worry about of this. Okay. Just explaining the concept. Okay. Now so what is MUC life cycle? Don't bother all about this concept. Okay, whenever we are creating the project, that time you can learn everything. Now the page request. Okay, first of all the page request comes. After that page will start and page initialize. So in that page we have a different types of controllers like buttons, radio buttons, check boxes. Okay, text boxes. All these are the controllers. So it has to initialize and then a page load. After initializing all the controllers, the page should load, and then we have to perform the validations if there is any validations. Okay, for example, client click on submit button without entering his email and password. We have to display the validations to the client like please enter a email, please enter a password, like that. And then post back event handling. Event handling is nothing but whenever click on the button, right, that is a click event. Okay, like that we have a different types of events in a MEC. And then we have a page rendering. At the last is a page unload. So this is the life cycle of a MEC. Okay, now after creating the my first MEC project, okay, my first MEC project, so the folder structure like this. So we have a different types of folders in a MEC, like app underscore data, app underscore start, content, controllers, fonts, models, scripts, views. So these are all the different types of folders, and we have some other files like global.asc, xweb.config. So we have a different files. So whenever we are create the new project, we can learn after that. Now this is a folder structure and a file structure whenever we creating the MVC application. Now I want to pass data from controller to view. Okay. So in that scenario, we have to use the view data, view back, temp data, model, and view model. These five different ways I can pass data from controller to view. Okay, just keep mind, just keep these points in your mind. Don't bother about all this. So whenever creating the application, that time I will explain you each of this job. What is the job of view data? What is the job of view back and the temp data? And what is the use of this model and the difference between a model and a view model? I will explain you coming sessions. Okay, don't worry about all this. Now how to pass data from view to controller. So in previous we learned a previous slide how to pass data from controller to view. Now in this session, sorry, in this slide we learn view to controller, how to pass data from view to controller. So these four different ways I can pass data view to controller. One is a model, form collection, method, parameters, and a Ajax call. Okay, so that's it, friends. This is the MVC application introduction. Okay, so all these points, with the help of this, okay, with the help of all these points, we can develop our application. Now, what we have any doubts? You have any doubts? Just comment on below. I will upload video on that. Okay, thanks for watching the video. Have a nice day.